Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office has identified the two victims of a fatal crash in Carmel Monday.
The crash happened a little after 9 p.m. on Route 69. Authorities say 23-year-old Stephen Shelley of Herman was driving a car that crossed the center line before leaving the roadway and striking some trees. Shelley and his passenger, 17-year-old Caden Brown of Newburgh, were pronounced dead at the scene. Penobscot County Sheriff's Office officials say the initial investigation indicates the car was traveling at a high rate of speed prior to the crash. Detectives are continuing to investigate.
An update now on a forest fire that has been burning for a day in the township of Tomhegan. In their last update via their Facebook page around 5:30 tonight, Maine Forest Ranger and Incident Commander Thomas Leba reported that the fire was 90% contained at 9.9 acres. He expects full containment by sunset and says the fire will not get any bigger. There have been no firefighter injuries.
A Calais man pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in Bangor today to distributing child sexual abuse material. According to court records, on September 10, 2021, 27-year-old Samuel Staples of Calais began a chat which the administrator of a social networking group dedicated to sharing child sexual abuse material and sent the administrator a sexually explicit image of a prepubescent girl. A search warrant was executed at Staples' residence, and during the search, Staples admitted to sending the image. Records indicate multiple images and videos of child pornography were also found on his cell phone. Staples faces up to 20 years in prison, a $250,000 fine, and up to a lifetime of supervised release. Homeland Security investigations, the Maine State Police Computer Crimes Unit, and the Calais Police Department all investigated the case.
Meanwhile, groups are reacting to the Maine Supreme Judicial Court ruling in favor of the New England Clean Energy Connect Corridor, also known as the CMP Corridor. The court ruled the referendum vote blocking the project was unconstitutional. The construction of the corridor, though, is still not guaranteed, but this ruling does move the process forward. It is still possible that the progress of construction can be halted by the lower courts. The Natural Resources Council of Maine was unavailable for interview today, but did put out a statement saying, quote, "The decision is difficult to interpret, but what is clear is that there will be further review of these issues by the lower courts. It is unclear when that review will take place or how long it will take," end quote. Similarly, no one at Central Maine Power was available for an interview, but gave a statement that said, quote, "This unanimous decision by the law court is a victory for clean energy expansion, transmission development, and decarbonization efforts in Maine, New England, and across the country," end quote.
Meanwhile, research is being done at the University of Maine to combat toxic chemicals that are being found nearly everywhere. Our Devin Dagnall has a story.
They're found in the clothes you wear, the packages your food comes in, and the water you drink. According to Dr. Rapol, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as PFAS, are a thin filming class of chemicals with over 4,000 chemical compounds that repels water and fat. According to Dr. Rapol, PFAS aren't just a problem unique to Maine, they're a crisis for the entire world.
Carpets, firefighting foam, so even sometimes floss has PFAS in it. It's been universally used in a lot of consumer products that makes it environmentally abundant. So it's everywhere we look at, we find trace amounts of PFAS. And unfortunately, trace amounts of PFAS is toxic to humans.
There are efforts being made to mitigate the use of PFAS and filter them out of drinking water, but then the problem arises of how to destroy filtered PFAS so that they can no longer enter the environment. According to Dr. Rapol, PFAS also create a unique problem because they can't be destroyed by conventional engineering practices. Apul and his team have worked hard to find a solution to these seemingly indestructible compounds.
We know having a carbon-based filter with excess amounts of electric charge and PFAS attached to it creates a catalytic reaction to destroy PFAS into more inert byproducts.
As of now, Apul and his team are testing their new method of destroying PFAS to make sure that it doesn't create more problems than it may fix. In Orono, I'm Devin Dagnall, reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22.
The Maine Department of Transportation will overnight road closures as part of the Hamden Bridge Bundle project. The closures of the Emerson Mill Road at I-95 will start next Tuesday, September 6th, and continue until September 20th. It will be closed between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. A spokesperson for the Department of Transportation said the contractor on the project needs to close the road to remove a temporary bridge. The Hamden Bridge Bundle project involves rebuilding 8 bridges and rehabilitating a 9th bridge along a 4-mile stretch in Hamden. All 8 bridges are now open and carrying traffic. The estimated completion date of the $44 million project is November 30th.
The 2022 season is the last for the Victory Chimes. That coming from owner Captain Sam Sakema. He says the 3-masted schooner is now for sale. The last of its kind, the Chesapeake Ram schooner, was built in 1900 and is on the National Register of Historic Places. Losses from the 2020 season, maintenance costs, and availability of materials, as well as upcoming Coast Guard compliances, were cited as factors for the sale. The 131-foot vessel was built in Delaware as a cargo carrier Edwin and Maud, but was later fitted with passenger cabins. It's so well known and synonymous with Maine, the 2003 state corridor featured a sailing vessel that was modeled after the schooner. The Victory Chimes is listed for sale for $650,000. Just an impressive sight to look at in that picture.
I'll go halfsies with you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's funny. Oh, my gosh.
It's beautiful. You hope that maybe whoever buys it continues to share it with the public in some capacity.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd hope that whoever has that much interest and wants to invest in it would continue to down the road.
Absolutely. All right. Well, is the upcoming weather sale-worthy? I don't know. Let's take a first look and find out.
Hey, Beth, thank you. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather is brought to you by Scott's Recreation with offices in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono. And all right, well, for us today, look what we did. Almost 80 here in Bangor, 75 Bar Harbor, 76 Milnog. We'll take it. The average high being mid-70s. Most of us did that today, and we'll get close to that again tomorrow. All right, so lots of rain showers this morning gave way to many hours of just kind of clear skies across our area. Then another wave came through, but we're done with the rain now for tonight. But this thing is pretty big, and there's more to it back off to the west. There could be a couple of clouds around tomorrow, and that could easily give us a few sprinkles through the afternoon. Our forecast, though, for tonight, though, is mostly clear skies to partly cloudy skies and cooler with low temperatures in the 50s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
All right, Jeff, thanks so much. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, literacy volunteers celebrate a combined 75 years of service from 2 of their own.
And people around the state and the nation recognize Overdose Awareness Day. Now, those stories and more local news after this.
The 201 horsepower turbocharged Kia Forte GT. Finally a reason to pull those aviators out of the glove compartment. Get 3.49% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Forte.
Prices are up. The economy is weak. Maine families are drowning. But instead of helping, Jared Golden cast one of the deciding votes for Biden's new massive spending bill that will make inflation even worse. Tax hikes for nearly everyone, and up to 87,000 new IRS agents who could harass the middle class. Times are tough. When Maine families needed a lifeline, Jared Golden threw us an anchor. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for content of this advertising.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead cost.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
In a primetime showdown, Penn State faces Purdue.
Are you kidding me?
It's going down. Coverage begins Thursday night at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Skeletons. 6 feet deep, like could have been so sweet, bro. Skeletons. Fasten your seatbelts, call the police when I start to believe.
Get 3.49% APR for up to 48 months in the purchase of a new 2023 Soul.
Hi, I'm Joe Cortez. Coming up on Good Morning Maine, Emma Smith and myself will get you ready for another great day up in the Pine Tree State. We'll have coverage from the Overdose Awareness Vigil taking place overnight, and there's new research going into PFAS contamination. We'll hear from leaders in that industry. Your local news coming right up.
Welcome back, everybody. Governor Janet Mills announced a $1.9 million initiative for expanding the treatment of substance use disorders. The funding will allow hospitals and healthcare providers in rural areas of the state to purchase the necessary resources. This announcement is the latest move by Maine's Department of Health and Human Services in its effort to improve the state's behavioral health system, involving the upgrading of equipment, improved staff training, and development of the facilities.
Advocates want you to know there are resources available to those working to overcome addiction. The nonprofit Bangor Area Recovery Network is one of them. Erica Oliveira from Barnes says it's an all-inclusive community center that's open 7 days a week and provides different forms of aid to those in recovery from addiction. She also says for her, it's so much more than just a job.
The barn means a lot to me. So I started at the barn doing different volunteer events. And, you know, it became my home for me, as it does for many other people. So it was a safe place for me to go to, even just to hang out. We have people who just come in and play cards, not necessarily, you know, there for a, particular meeting, but just a place to hang out and be with people who are looking towards the same things in life.
And to watch the entire interview from our morning show and learn more about Barn, you can head to our website, foxbangor.com.
Well, the Inspire Recovery Center in Ellsworth hosted a candlelight vigil earlier this evening to honor those who've lost their lives to overdose and also to support the families and loved ones of those lost. 56 pairs of shoes were displayed representing the 56 lives lost to overdose in Hancock County between 2017 and 2021. Some people shared their own personal stories of loss while others listened in support. Maine's Director of Opioid Response attended the vigil and spoke about the importance of breaking down the stigma surrounding those with substance use disorders.
It doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, rich, poor, educated, or not well educated. Addiction is a really difficult chronic illness, and the most important thing is to lower the stigma. Unfortunately, one of the reasons it's getting much better is so many people have been affected by it.
Smith says due to fentanyl being a synthetic substance, it's become much more prevalent and is often mixed with other drugs without the user knowing. Smith touted the life-saving treatment naloxone, which is also referred to under the brand name Narcan, and its ability to quickly reverse the effects of an overdose. Smith says anyone can go to their local recovery center to access naloxone as well as fentanyl test strips.
Communities across the nation are recognizing International Overdose Awareness Day today. Fox's Aisha Hosni traveled to the epicenter of the opioid crisis, West Virginia, the state with the highest number of overdoses per capita in the nation, to find out how residents are trying to take on the drug cartels to take back their state.
That's my dad, William.
Haley McAllister can't wait to see her family again. In just a few days, the 16-year-old will graduate from the Mountaineer Challenge Academy, a 22-week-long program for at-risk teens.
She was always really bad on drugs.
Haley says she was just a baby when her mom abandoned her for drugs. Growing up, she was afraid she'd wind up just like her.
I've definitely thought of many ways to get out of the pain and the suffering I was going through.
Vulnerable teens like Haley are now the target of Mexican drug cartels. Last week, police found the first batch of rainbow fentanyl in this part of the state. Candy-looking pills sold as OxyContin.
What makes me furious is we're not stopping it at the border.
West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito blames broken border policies for the pills poisoning her state. But until something changes on the front lines, she's focused on preventing addiction in the first place. Local businesses like this Fruits of Labor Cafe are hiring at-risk young adults.
This is a new beginning.
And the Mountaineer Challenge Academy is giving struggling teens the tools they need to make good choices.
We've got to stop the desire, the need, the market for these drugs.
It seems to be working.
I draw a lot.
For Haley, knowing her community cared was exactly what she needed.
One opportunity can change your life. It changed mine. I wouldn't be alive if I wasn't here.
And just this month, a bipartisan group of senators from West Virginia, Virginia, and Tennessee demanded more federal resources to help their states fight the drug trafficking that is taking place in the Appalachia region. In Charleston, West Virginia, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
And definitely a lot of emphasis today across the nation and really across the world on breaking down those stigmas as we talked about earlier, and also just letting people know that they're not alone and that others support them through their battle.
And doing what you can to, prevent the addiction in the first place. Right. Keeping kids away from drugs, getting them away from them before they get in too deep, and right. providing opportunities like that camp, which is just great.
Yeah, that education is so important.
Absolutely.
All right, we're coming up next on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22. The mass exodus of teachers since the pandemic has gotten the attention of First Lady Jill Biden. She's holding the White House meeting to address the shortage.
And the U.S. on Wednesday authorized its first update to COVID-19 vaccines, booster doses that target today's most common Omicron strain. All of those stories and more when the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
I earned my retirement. I worked over 40 years for it. But Bruce Poliquin doesn't get it. He's a Wall Street banker and congressman who took all that money from the drug and insurance industries, then voted for devastating cuts to Medicare and risking Social Security. Poliquin even supported raising the retirement age. Bruce Poliquin is all about corporations and multimillionaires like himself, not us. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I grew up in Eastport. My dad actually worked for Bangor Hydro, so that was always my goal. I've been here for 36 years. We're all that same company, from Washington County to Bangor, Lincoln, Prescott. We're all the same people. We're all from here. This area is like one big community. When we help people, that's our biggest reward, getting the power back on. We've done that for years, and we'll continue to do that.
When pipes froze and water damage ravaged a home, Bouchard Cleaning was there to restore and dry things up. When a home in Wells needed mold remediation, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration performed as promised. From Madawaska to Owl's Head, Ashland to Bath, we've answered the call. More than just a cleaning company, we're restoring Maine. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Out with the old and in with the new. Check out Pat's Pizza Specials. Tuesdays, $5 spaghetti and meatballs. Tuesday, all day breadstick special. Wednesday, large one-topping pizzas, $8. Wednesday, small steak and cheese with French fries, $6.25. Friday, fish with French fries, $7.50. Saturday, small one-headed pizza, fountain soda, $7.25. And you can still save some dough. Bring the family to the all-new Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road North, Hamden.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back. Trying to prevent a looming large-scale COVID outbreak, the FDA is paving the way for another round of COVID-19 booster shots, this one taking aim at the current strain of the virus. Fox's William LaJeunesse has the story.
Even before formally responding to a Tuesday filing from the Justice Department, former President Trump slammed the FBI in a post on Truth Social, calling the photo that the DOJ released of classified documents scattered on the floor deceiving. In their filing, the former president's attorneys go into further detail, saying the notion that presidential records would contain sensitive information should have never been cause for alarm and should not have led to a search of his home.
I think they know that all of this was done the wrong way. They look really bad right now.
The DOJ says the top secret records were recovered from a container in the former president's office, a fraction of more than 100 classified materials the FBI found in Mar-a-Lago on August 8th. Now the department is calling into question whether the Trump team performed a, quote, diligent search of the property to turn over highly sensitive items after receiving a subpoena in May. In a stunning allegation, the DOJ says government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room and that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation.
I wish the Bureau would have put out right after this raid, because this is the kind of information that stops this runaway train from happening.
The DOJ's filing stems from an effort to oppose former President Trump's request for a third party to review the materials that were taken, saying it could impede the investigation. But former President Trump's legal aides argue an independent arbiter is still necessary for transparency, adding that a fair-minded DOJ that truly embraced the highest ethical standards would and should agree. The high-stakes hearing over whether a special master should be appointed is set for Thursday. In Washington, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
We go now to the story about the latest round of COVID-19 booster shots, this one taking aim at the current strain of the virus. Fox's William LaJeunesse has more.
Get ready to roll up your sleeves once again. The Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday authorizing the nation's first update to COVID-19 vaccines, modifying both the Pfizer and Moderna recipes, hoping to avoid a winter surge of COVID cases.
It really provides the broadest opportunity for protection against COVID-19.
The vaccines we have now were created to combat the original coronavirus strain, whereas the newly formulated doses offer cross-protection, targeting Omicron, the highly contagious and most common strain of the virus in the U.S.
The updated boosters contain the same basic ingredients as the original COVID-19 mRNA vaccines, but are modified to target the circulating Omicron variant, BA4 and BA5.
So who's eligible for the new single-dose booster? For Pfizer, anyone 12 and older who has already received their initial vaccine. The age increases to 18 and over for anyone getting the Moderna booster. Regulators saying you must wait at least 2 months following your primary vaccination or booster shot before getting the new one.
The idea here is not just to increase the antibodies right now, but also to hopefully give us a longer duration of protection, because the hope here is not to have to give lots of vaccines each year.
The doses could begin shipping out as early as next week. The CDC on Thursday is expected to make recommendations to who will get the new booster first. In Los Angeles, William LaJeunesse, Fox News.
Well, with schools across the U.S. facing a teacher shortage this year, the Biden administration is taking action. At the White House Wednesday, First Lady Jill Biden met with cabinet officials and education leaders about figuring out ways to fix the problem. Fox's Mark Meredith reports from the White House.
You still just feel that excitement, that anxiety of the new semester.
It's back to school time for millions of Americans, but this year, some students may notice their classroom is more crowded, with a nationwide teacher shortage gripping communities coast to coast.
It's hurting communities with students from low-income backgrounds and students of color the most.
On Wednesday, First Lady Jill Biden, an educator herself, and top administration officials met with education and business leaders to strategize on how best to address the shortage.
There are so many other future educators out there who want to teach, but decide against it or decide to leave because so many obstacles stand in their way.
Education experts say teachers are leaving their profession for a variety of reasons, whether it be low pay, COVID concerns, or better opportunities elsewhere.
It's either my sanity and my dignity as a professional, or continue in a place with an employer that doesn't respect me.
The White House is partnering with several job search firms to help school districts recruit and hire more teachers. And officials say states should consider raising teachers' salaries by tapping money from last year's American Rescue Plan.
When you think of $40,000 a year for a teacher, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's baffling.
Officials say one more way to bring more teachers into the classrooms would be through expanding apprenticeship programs, which they believe would entice more people to eventually become educators. At the White House, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Meanwhile, the International Atomic Energy Agency crossing the front lines in Ukraine, part of a dangerous mission to assess the damage at a nuclear plant being occupied by Russians. Fox's Alex Hogan has more from Kyiv.
It's a mission that seeks to prevent a nuclear accident.
The International Atomic Energy Agency sending inspectors into a war zone for the first time, hoping to get a handle on the situation at the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. The inspection team arriving in Zaporizhia on Wednesday, but with the fighting still ramping up in the area, it's not clear how much access they'll have or how long it will take to examine the plant, leading to suggestions that they could be there until the end of the war.
The mission will take a few days, and if we are able to establish a permanent presence, or a continued presence, better said, then it's going to be prolonged.
The visit comes just 2 days after Ukraine launched a counteroffensive in the south, which they say is already showing signs of progress. And Russia is reportedly running short of supplies, including weapons-capable drones that it purchased from Iran that appear to be malfunctioning.
We know of some difficulties that the Russians have been having with some of these drones and some of the limits on some of the capabilities.
Meanwhile, with American weapons still pouring into Ukraine, a bipartisan group of senators visited the country to get a first-hand look at life near the front lines. Traveling to an airport that was the scene of heavy fighting and several towns where alleged Russian war crimes took place.
It's important to support Ukraine, but it's also about this broader cause of protecting freedom.
The White House says it will announce another military aid package for Ukraine in the coming days. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
It's been over 2 decades since Princess Diana's fatal crash, and people in Great Britain are remembering her life and legacy. Fox's Greg Palcott has more from London.
I woke up and I said to my husband, I've had this most awful dream. Lady Diana's passed away. And he said, oh, no. Anyway, we put the telly on and, oh, my gosh. And I just spent the whole day crying.
Wednesday marks 25 years since the death of Princess Diana. The limo carrying her and Dodi Al-Fayed crashed in Paris as it sped away from photographers chasing the couple. The princess was just 36 years old when she died, leaving behind her 2 sons, William and Harry. The news of her untimely death shocking millions around the world. And even though it's been over 2 decades later, fans say the pain of her passing feels like it was yesterday.
It transports you back 25 years. And instead of being 25 years, it's like yesterday. And it transports you right back to those days.
Royal fans and mourners coming from all over paid their respects to the people's princess at the crash site and the gates of Kensington Palace. People laid flowers and pictures of Diana while others prayed and sung hymns.
I don't know what it was. There was just something about that girl that really stood out. And you felt like she was part of your life.
Her story was still one of caring for other people. So I think the idea of her being the children's princess and the Queen of Hearts and that kind of thing is the legacy that will remain beyond memories of her as a person.
During a charity dinner last week, Prince Harry spoke of the humanitarian work his mother was known for and says he will always honor her legacy.
Every day, I hope to do her proud.
Princes William and Harry plan to honor their mother separately this year. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the Eastern Area Agency on Aging wants you to get ready to put on your dancing shoes for a good cause.
And in sports, Old Town Field Hockey enters the 2022 season as defending Northern Maine champs. But they have a number of new faces leading the charge this fall. We'll be right back.
Roman Reigns celebrates 2 years of championship dominance ahead of his match with Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. An all-new edition of Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
When you're looking to save, you head to the outlets. Well, come to the Furniture Factory outlet in any Jordan store. You can have that new look at outlet prices and get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the style at Jordan's.
Last year, I cracked Biden's aggressive spending agenda. Now, I'm delivering on common sense reforms that are good for America, like lowering prescription drug prices for thousands of Maine seniors, preventing healthcare costs from spiking on working families, and opening up oil and gas production to lower fuel costs, while reducing the deficit by hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine common sense is back on the table in Washington.
Big trucks rule the road. They're dangerous, and they can cause big, bad injuries. But the big trucking companies don't stand a chance against me. I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. If you've been hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Breakdowns, collisions, things happen on the road unexpectedly. But here at Phil's Towing, we understand. With years of experience, our friendly professionals are here for you when you need them the most, no matter how big the task or vehicle is. At Phil's Towing, with our heavy-duty trucks, we guarantee an arrival time of 30 minutes or less and are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Give us a call at Phil's Towing. Anytime, anywhere, anything.
Dine on the deck with a delicious view at the Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub, now open. Experience outdoor dining at its finest 7 days a week with award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. Dining on the deck at Ryan's Pub is an unforgettable culinary experience you'll want to share with your family, friends, business partners, or that special someone. Your next visit to the Lucerne Inn will feel like the first all over again.
My husband took my son. He could take him anywhere.
Why do you think Marco took Luca? He knows something's going on with this guy you work for.
I'm not gonna let anything happen to my son.
The Cleaning Lady season premiere, Monday, September 19th on Fox.
Whatever your budget, we'll make it easy to create the home that fits you and that fits your style. And now get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the choices at Jordan's.
Welcome back. Well, this afternoon, literacy volunteers celebrated two of their own for working a combined 75 years. Matthew Dronsick has the story.
Very few can say that they have volunteered for more than 3 decades. But for Kara Shriver and Nancy Connor, this is something the two fell in love with from the start.
Someone I was talking with had to help somebody read a bus schedule because the person could not read and they were having a job interview. Then we started having refugees come to this country from Vietnam. And there was only one English language tutor at the time. And she said, Kara, we need help. Can you?
The two have worked at Literacy Volunteers for a total of 75 years, 45 years for Schreiber and 30 for Connors. During all the years Connor has worked, she says watching her students grow outside the classroom is what makes her job worthwhile.
The idea that you are coming alongside someone, you are supporting them not only with a very challenging language, English is a very complex language and an ever-evolving language, but you're also helping them to navigate the culture.
Connor and Schreiber have both taught immigrants the English language, as well as training other volunteers how to do so. Connor says that becoming a tutor requires not only work inside the classroom, but also within the community.
You almost take on an advocacy role for them as well. You're helping them wade through some really important things, and you build this wonderful relationship with them. You share their joys and their challenges.
With all the time the two have put in, they say nothing compares to having students finally understand what they are learning.
You can work and work and work with the student, and then they finally they make the sound correctly. And it is so exciting. You can't describe that feeling, that high.
Anyone interested in tutoring should call 207-947-8451, visit Literacy Volunteers' website, or come to the Brewer Community Center on September 15th between 6 and 8 p.m., where they will be hosting tutoring sessions. Reporting from Bangor, Matthew Juroncic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Well, one local school PTO got creative with their fundraising efforts. The VZ Community School PTO decided they needed help, and Principal Tweedy found himself stuck helping them. quite literally, actually. For $1 per strip of tape at the Tuesday night back-to-school open house, you could help duct tape the school principal to the wall entrance of the school. Yeah, you heard me. In addition, the PTO held a spaghetti dinner with all the proceeds going to the VC Community School PTO. Now, the PTO uses the proceeds for things like author visits, school field trips, and teacher staff appreciation. The PTO will also host an online auction in November as well. If you'd like to help, you can email them at pto@vz-c-s.org.
And that principal is just a great sport there. All right, meanwhile, the Eastern Area Agency on Aging is giving folks a good reason to get dressed up and put your dancing shoes on. They're putting on a senior prom, but it's not exactly what you might think. The big day is on Friday, September 16th from 6 to 9 p.m., and it's for anyone 21 years of age and older, hence the use of the word senior. It's being held at the Morgan Hill Event Center in Herman. In addition to all the dancing, there will also be an in-person silent auction. The agency says all proceeds will go to fund their programs like Meals on Wheels, so it's a crucial fundraiser for them. They say they've seen a rise in costs for basic necessities and want to make sure they're able to support Mainers in need.
The reason we're doing this fundraiser is because we are worried about those costs. When a consumer calls us who needs Meals on Wheels, we want to make sure that we can provide that meal for them and they're not put on a wait list.
Fry says for those attending, there's no need to rush out and rent a tux or gown. A shirt and tie or a nice dress will do just fine. Tickets are $50, but if you enter promo code PROM10 at checkout, you'll get $10 off. They're hoping to sell a lot more tickets in the coming weeks, and here's hoping they do so and meet their fundraising goals.
Absolutely. It sounds like a really good time, and you can't say enough about a program like Meals on Wheels, so crucial for people who are struggling to sustain themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like the teacher principal getting duct tape to the wall, another fun way to raise some money here.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
talk about a good sport.
Oh,
I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, he had a big old smile on his face and everything, but I mean, that was a lot of strips of duct tape.
A lot.
That's a lot of dollars right there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. All right, well, Jeff Weller's coming back with our full 5 days. Stay with us.
All right, the rain has ended. Temperatures near 80 today, but 70s are in the forecast. But when will the rain return? Will it affect the weekend? Those details for you when I come back.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Right now, get more for your money at Maine's #1 Kia dealer, Van Sickle Kia. Lease a brand new 2023 Kia Forte with an EPA rating of 41 miles per gallon for just $239 a month. Or lease a brand new 2023 Kia Soul with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for just $239 a month. That's right, your choice, just $239 per month. And you'll get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty only at Van Sickle Kia.
More car, more value, less money. I'm Peter Van Sickle, and I want to see you in a Kia.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom ink by licensed artists for over 20 years. And let's talk about this, right? Football coming up on Friday. Looks like pretty good weather for us, too, with temperatures hanging out in the 70s and a couple of clouds around with little wind on Friday evening. All right, so for today, though, look what we did. High temperatures back up near 80 again here in Bangor. A bit cooler as Bar Harbor in the Millinock, but who cares? A very nice day temperature-wise for us today, but there were a couple of showers out there. I say were because those are now gone. For now. The wind out of the west, that front has come through. It actually might go calm for a couple hours again tonight. That could give us some dense fog by tomorrow morning. You are used to that, though, I know. Okay, so going forward, allergy-wise, looking pretty good, right? Tree pollen low category, grass low. The weed has gone up to moderate and mold too. So overall, if you're sniffling and sneezing, this could be one of the reasons why. All right, so rain showers earlier today have now pushed off to the east of us, and a couple little bands came through. We're pretty much done with those now for tonight, although there could be a sprinkle tonight. The bigger story, though, is this thing is pretty big, right? Area of low pressure off to the west of us. That's going like this, but it's just close enough that we could see a couple residual showers tomorrow wrapping around this thing. That could give us a couple of sprinkles, a couple of light showers, most likely during peak daytime heating tomorrow, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon as that system kind of pulls out of here. But overall, though, most of us should stay dry across our region tomorrow. So here it is to the west of us, kind of sitting and spinning right there. A couple of clouds by tomorrow morning. Here's 11 o'clock or so. Partly cloudy skies. And then by later in the afternoon, again, a couple of these could bubble up into a couple of light showers tomorrow. Most of us will stay dry. That gets out of here tomorrow night. Then Friday is going to be a gorgeous day around here. Hardly a breeze, tons of sunshine, temperatures back in the 70s. We'll take it into Saturday as well. A pretty nice weekend is on the way before we get some more rain showers in here probably later on Sunday. Rainfall-wise, so again, there could be a couple sprinkles tomorrow. Most of us will stay dry, so not much rainfall for us anytime soon. We got to watch that because it's been kind of dry, as you know. We'll likely get some more rain after the weekend. Our forecast then tonight, though, is rain ending out there. Already hasn't for you. Turning partly cloudy to mostly clear skies and a bit cooler, right? Last night, low temperatures down near 70. Tonight, basically in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, a very nice day. Partly cloudy skies. There could be a couple sprinkles out there. A little bit cooler. High temperatures near 75 with that west wind around 5. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows the story. 75 tomorrow, a couple of sprinkles around. Friday, we're dry, mostly sunny, 77. Up near 80 on Saturday, we'll take it, probably stopping just short under partly cloudy skies. The weekend holds with a couple of thunder showers on Sunday, not an all-day rain, with high temperatures near 76. Beth?
All righty, Jeff, thanks so much. That looks pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, not a bad outlook at all.
Yeah.
All right, well, sports is coming up next, so stay with us.
Prices are up. The economy is weak. Maine families are drowning. But instead of helping, Jared Golden cast one of the deciding votes for Biden's new massive spending bill that will make inflation even worse. Tax hikes for nearly everyone, and up to 87,000 new IRS agents who could harass the middle class. Times are tough. When Maine families needed a lifeline, Jared Golden threw us an anchor. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com.
Sting in concert, September 11th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine. Sting, My Songs. Performing songs written throughout his prolific career with special guest Joe Sumner. On sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com or Ticketmaster.com. Sting in one unforgettable night, part of the Varney Insurance Concert Series.
We are the first family of country music. Just watch.
Monarch series premiere September 11th on Fox.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, let's start the night with some high school sports, some field hockey to be exact. Up in Old Town, the Coyotes are coming off a pretty successful 2021 season, and they're hoping to keep it rolling this fall. Tyler Cruz has more.
It's a new year for Old Town field hockey.
We're ready, they're excited, and it's time to play some field hockey.
Last fall, the Coyotes won the Class B North title in a close game over Lawrence, before falling in the state title game in a nail-biter. A 1-0 loss to Leavitt, and they're using that as a little extra firepower in 2022.
That definitely stings, and I think it gives some of these girls, especially senior class, a chip on their shoulder.
It just makes me want to push ourselves harder, push our team to our max, and get there again and win this time.
It sucks, but I definitely think that that's where we want to be this year as well. And if we keep working for it, then we definitely could.
There is one major difference, though. They're losing 10 seniors from last year's regional championship team, but the expectations don't change one bit.
Let these girls get together and set their own team goals. They want to be back at that high-level state game, regional championship, and even though they're young, they don't care. They're ready, and they've got the fight.
Despite losing 10, Old Town is bringing back 6 seniors from 21, and they're ready to step up and take the reins for this year's group. And with a big chunk of freshmen, they're going to play a major role in this team's success.
We want to make sure they all feel welcome and that they all love the sport as much as we do. And we were pretty lucky when we were freshmen to have a good group of seniors as well.
We treat the freshmen like they have been on the team for years and that we've known them forever. They deserve the best because they've worked so hard this preseason.
I think we just worked together very well since during the summer we did a lot of team building and stuff. So we've really gotten to know each other so far.
And when they take the field Friday against Orono, they'll be doing so with one goal in mind.
I'm excited to get to States again. We want to go back. We want to go back for sure.
Reporting from Old Town, I'm Tyler Cruz, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
All right, thank you, Tyler. So a lot of new faces for the Coyotes. They'll start up their defense of the Northern Maine title this Friday at Orono. As for the other field hockey teams around the state, the regular season opener came on Wednesday afternoon. First official game of the fall season for them. Bapst hosting Herman in Bangor at the Union Street Fields. First quarter here, where we start. Delaney Carr making things happen, throws it on net. That is a deflected ball around in front of the net. Eventually finds Danielle Holland, who fires it past Kate Griffin. Hawks take a 1-0 lead. Later in the half now, Carr again with the pass in front. This time, Grace Kelly is there to finish the job to make it a 2-0 game with Herman out in front. Kelly and the Hawks would keep the pressure on in the half. Here, she's able to navigate through traffic and do it herself. Herman starts the season with a win. 5-0 is the final over the Crusaders. And let's move on now with some updates from the fighting world. It's been exactly a month since New England Fights announced its return to Bangor for the first time in 3 years. And one local fighter taking part in the Queen City Showdown is Brewers' Glory Watson. This will be Watson's first professional fight in and around her hometown, with her last appearance in Bangor coming back in 2019 when she was still an amateur. Another local fighter is Auburn's Matt Denning, who will compete in the welterweight class versus MMA veteran Jordan Downey. Fight night is set for next Friday, September 9th at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. And finally, the Patriots practice on Wednesday for the first time since finalizing their 53-man roster. 15 of those players who were cut on Tuesday are now on the practice squad, including Trey Nixon, Terrence Mitchell, and Lil Jordan Humphrey, just to name a couple. Now, Bill Belichick said earlier in the week they'll start to shift their focus to the Dolphins now while still working to clean up some of the areas where they've struggled. Safe to put the offense on that list, especially given the changing schemes and styles. Mac Jones, though, he said on Wednesday he's still optimistic about where his unit is at.
I think we've ironed out a lot of things, and it's good that they're happening now, and I feel confident in what we're doing. We just got to go out there and do it for 60 minutes, and that's just play-by-play, and obviously during practice, same thing, play-by-play. Go out there and execute it, and Once you turn on the game film and you look back and there's, 45, 50 good plays, and, hopefully you come out on top.
We've heard a lot of talk. We've seen a lot of practice. We've seen preseason games. Can we just get to it already? Just still a little over a week left till they square off against Miami. Alrighty, that's sports. We'll be right back after the break.
I earned my retirement. I worked over 40 years for it. But Bruce Poliquin doesn't get it. He's a Wall Street banker and congressman who took all that money from the drug and insurance industries, then voted for devastating cuts to Medicare and risking Social Security. Poliquin even supported raising the retirement age. Bruce Poliquin is all about corporations and multimillionaires like himself, not us. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Welcome to the all-new Oakland Furniture Sit and Sleep Gallery. Come in and explore our great selection of quality living room sets and mattresses, all designed for your comfort. Visit our Best Home Furnishings Gallery and find that just right recliner. From the petite to the beast, so good they can only be called best. When you want the best, shop local. Shop the all-new Oakland Furniture Sit and Sleep Gallery.
If you're looking for a vehicle and you want a good experience, I recommend Ryan White at Hartley's in Newport. My husband and I are repeat customers, and both times Ryan White was our go-to guy. He is very knowledgeable and will answer any questions you have. Ryan makes your buying experience comfortable and enjoyable, so go see Ryan.
If that's the experience you're looking for when buying a vehicle, come see me, Ryan White, at Hartley's. And remember, the best deals aren't in the city, they're in the country.
Jason Aldean. When lights come on. Rock and Roll Cowboy Tour 2022. Presented by Wolf Moon Bourbon. Saturday, September 10th. Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine. With Tracy Lawrence. Time marches on. And John Morgan. If I didn't love. ACM Artist of the Decade. Jason Aldean. Let's get this thing started. It's my kind of on sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com or ticketmaster.com.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, no matter how big or small, you'll find all the products and services you need at Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Lego Masters is back. I've got a few new bricks up my sleeve.
It's a block busting, brick blasting,
Close up!
epic new competition.
Hi. Hi. Dinosaurs are living among us.
Lego Masters premieres September 21st on Fox.
Let the games begin.
Alec Baldwin books a new role. A Roald Dahl classic will arrive for Christmas and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Can't just show up here with no warning.
Jackman's family drama, Matilda Gets a Date, and Baldwin returns to acting in the Hollywood Nation. Alec Baldwin has lined up his first role since last year's fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the set of his film Rust. According to the New York Post, the actor will star in the Broadway revival of the play Art. He will star alongside Tony Shalhoub and John Leguizamo. It's expected to open in the spring at the Shubert Theater.
Matilda Wormwood.
Netflix announced the release date for its live-action adaptation of Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical. The film version of the hit stage show will debut in theaters December 9th, ahead of its premiere on the streamer December 25th. Alicia Weir leads as Matilda Wormwood, and Emma Thompson stars as the villainous headmistress, Miss Trunchbull.
I'm giving you an opportunity.
Today's First Looks features Chris Rock and Javier Bardem facing off in the trailer of Look at Me. The preview features the duo portraying a gala organizer and a drummer in a dramatic confrontation ahead of a scheduled performance at a fundraiser. The 16-minute short film is set to debut at the Venice Film Festival September 9th.
Why didn't you answer me?
I do answer you.
And Sony Pictures Classics released the trailer to The Son, a sequel to Florian Zeller's 2020 film, The Father. The family drama stars Hugh Jackman, Laura Dern, Vanessa Kirby, and Oscar winner Anthony Hopkins. Jackman plays a father whose life with his new partner and their baby is turned upside down by the arrival of his ex-wife and troubled teenage son. It opens in theaters November 11th.
Everything okay at home?
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Applications for student loan relief could be available within weeks, but there are steps you can take now to help you get ready. Last week, President Biden announced Pell Grant recipients can get up to $20,000 in student loans forgiven. Other borrowers can get up to $10,000. Before you apply, make sure you meet the income criteria by looking at the adjusted gross income on your recent tax returns. Borrowers must make less than $125,000 a year or less than $250,000 for married couples. It's also important to know your loan type. While most types of federal student loans qualify for forgiveness, it's not entirely clear if the commercially held federal family education loan will be included, since it is held by a private company. Also, keep relevant records handy and stay up to date with the process.
Well, switching gears now, new research shows junk food may be making you depressed or anxious. Analysts from Florida Atlantic University studied the data from more than 10,000 adults diagnosed with mild cases of depression across the U.S. They found that participants who ate high amounts of ultra-processed foods reported having more mentally unhealthy and anxious days than those who didn't eat them. They also found that people who constantly consume these foods are less likely to have zero anxious or unhealthy mental health days.
August 31st is your last chance to donate blood and be entered into a drawing to win free gas for a year. The American Red Cross has been holding a drive all month to boost blood, platelets, and plasma donations. People who give will automatically be entered for the opportunity to win free gas for a year, up to $6,000 worth. The winner will also get a $10,000 e-gift card to a retailer of their choice. The Red Cross has been reporting a critical shortage of blood at many locations across the country.
Well, drivers in Memphis were caught up in a bit of a saucy situation after Alfredo spilled all over the interstate. A tractor trailer crashed into a wall on Interstate 55 in Memphis Tuesday, spilling gallons of Alfredo sauce onto the hot pavement. Cars reportedly drove on the interstate's shoulder in an attempt to not get lost in the sauce, while crews worked to clean up the very messy scene.
And sticking with our saucy topics here to end the night, iconic brand Heinz is releasing a ketchup-stained fashion collection. Heinz is partnering up with Oakland, California-based thrift store brand ThredUp to create what is being called the Heinz Vintage Drip Collection. The collection features secondhand designer pieces and streetwear that each come with a Heinz ketchup stain. It'll be offered in sizes ranging from extra, extra small to extra, extra large, and they're available for purchase exclusively on thredup.com/Heinz beginning on August 30th. The brand say all profits will go to the Rise Against Hunger in support of global hunger relief. Wow. I guess that's one way to do it.
Sure.
Get that stain out of the way, right?
You know, if you're going to walk around with a ketchup-stained garment on, I guess that's as good a reason as any, folks.
Yeah, right.
Good night.
Good night.